Come with me, toy fans.
Hello, toy fans, and welcome to a 60,000 subscriber celebratory live stream. I've got my Stan Solo bucket hat that Chris Smith very kindly sent me in the mail. He sent me two different colors. They turned up yesterday. Tonight is going to be a very casual stream. I really want to interact with the chat, answer some of your questions, and I also wanted to. When I was thinking of, who I might invite onto this live stream, I thought, this channel wouldn't be what it is today if it weren't for all of the amazing supporters. And many of the supporters who followed this channel over the years have actually become very dear friends in real life. So I wanted to change things up. I'm always on here with Bobby and Ryan and that kind of thing. I wanted to bring back a few of my very good friends, longtime supporters of the channel. And the first person that I would like to introduce is Captain Shaffer. How are you, sir?
Hello, sir. Thank you for having me on, and congratulations on your latest video and your 60,000 subscribers. But no congratulations on that hat. That's bad. No, I'm kidding.
I'm going to wear that when I go fishing.
That's perfect for that. Yeah, perfect.
Mr. Shaffer,
Yes,
you
sir.
were one of my first ever Patreon followers. You weren't the first, but the first. He's not a follower anymore on Patreon, but you were one of the first followers on Patreon. We've become good friends over the years. A lot of friendly banter over Star Wars versus Star Trek.
Indeed.
But you've been a patron of the channel longer than the next guest I'm bringing in, so he needs to explain himself. It is.
Hey, what the heck? Congrats. Oh, I just became a Patreon today. I didn't know it was a thing. I didn't know.
Yeah, 4 years too late. Being a patron was not a precursor to get an invite onto tonight's live stream. But Pete, unfortunately, me and Michael Shaffer, we had plans to meet in the US the first time I went to Joe Fest. But for anyone who was there at that time, they remember the airline crisis, which affected me because at the end of Joe Fest, when we went into Iconicon, I did the first few days of Iconicon at Retro Blasting, and then I was supposed to travel back up to Boston or Rhode Island to see Bobby and kind of finish off the trip there. And Matt Swafford of Reclaimers Vintage Toys was driving me to the airport as I got an email notification to say my flight was cancelled. And then I did eventually make it, but that's what happened to you, Michael, isn't it? You
they didn't cancel the flight. They actually overbooked it.
Yeah.
So there were, I think,
Such
27 people just waiting around. Yeah, and there was no way it was a direct flight, and there was no way to get a connecting flight to get there in time, because I was only going to spend an evening there. I guess it would have been that morning through that day, and then leave the next day. And to get there that late, everything was over. The meetup. This would have been Monday. When you had the Iconicon meetup in, I guess this would have been
Second chance. Yeah.
2021, I believe. Yep. Yeah.
22.
So anyway.
22.
Oh, I apologize. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, no, don't need to apologize. I keep messing it up as well. Whenever I talk about the 2 times I've been over there, I'm like, yeah, I went in 21 and 22. And you're like, no, you went in 22 and then this year, 23. As a matter of fact, I did that Phantom Menace live stream yesterday on Retro Blasting, and I was listening back to it when I was taking my I went and picked my son up from college yesterday, taking him for driving. I was listening back to it, and I heard myself say that I was talking about when the Phantom Menace hit for me and kind of where I was at in life. And I said I'd been in the Australian Army from 1994 to 1984.
What?
I was in the Australian Army from 1994 to 1998.
Well, maybe you served with the DeLorean. You might have gone backwards.
Retroactive.
Well, we have another guest in the green room. It is my esteemed pleasure to oh my god, to introduce our good friend, Mr. Keith Knight.
We're all safe.
Oh, God. Congratulations again on 60,000, mate. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. What on earth are you wearing on your head?
This is a madness hat to advertise.
Yeah, when you went to see him.
When I went to see him, well, no, but I'm just wearing it because I'm mad, basically. And plus, it's keeping my head warm. It's cold here. It's freezing cold here.
Oh, well.
Oh, Michael, and hello, Pete, by the way.
Hello.
Keith. I thought you were
Okay.
playing like a British version of Sala and we're going to sing some more Gilbert and Sullivan.
More like Tommy Cooper, but it's Tony knows Tommy Cooper.
So, Keith, for someone who
We're all
doesn't
here.
collect Action Man, there's a few Action Men on the shelf behind you.
Well, there's a very good reason for that.
Mm.
And that is because I've got a very good friend who's also a bit of a pain in the arse, right back at you.
I think I know it.
Who got me back into collecting Action Man again. And yeah, I said that I was only going to start collecting the police series of Action Men, which I think was probably 3 from the Action Man line. Am I right, Tony? And probably 3 from the G.I. Joe line.
Yeah. I think 2 from G.I. Joe, I think. Actually, 1 from Action Man and then another 2 from like European Action Man. The other 2 weren't released.
Wasn't the there was the British motorcycle policeman, which I've got up there.
Yep.
The RCMP.
Oh, sorry, including military police. I didn't realise you were including that.
The RCMP are not military police. They're state police, aren't they? But the military police. Yeah, the military police I've got in as well. Yeah. And of course, the GI Joes, I've got all those as well. The Air Police, the Shore Patrol. And
have you got the State Police Trooper?
State Police Trooper. Which one? What series was that from?
Smokey and the
G.I. Joe State Police Trooper. Oh, you didn't know about this, did you?
You see, I'm not allowed to swear, and you break that to me on live TV, and now I'm not allowed to swear in response. You rascal for keeping that a secret.
You rascal. Oh, he is keeping it clean.
You
dirty bird.
Son of a gun.
All right, Keith, you have a homework assignment. Go on eBay and see if you can find the G.I. Joe State Police from 1966, I think it is.
Oh, my God.
It's cheap as chips, mate. It won't cost you anything to...
There was a joke there. Chips, State Police. comedy for a Friday night, folks. Yeah, no, but anyway, yes, I've got all those Action Men police figures, and so far I've got 40 Action Men dressed up as policemen. 40. So much for me. Only collecting the police series.
Yeah, just dipping your toe.
And I went down. This chap tagged me in an auction for a French Action Man. Was it the Action Joe, Vintage Action Joe, Action Team Joe, whatever they're called? And it was in the gendarme uniform. And that cost me a fair few quid, but I had to have it. Once I saw it, I had to have it. So it's Tony's fault. It's totally Tony's fault. The reason why I now have 40 Action Men is totally down to Tony. And you know what? I could give you a big kiss right now because I love it.
And then I'm going to kiss him after for the whole Action Force, the shelves full, meeting Bob Brechin. Like, I'm going to give him a big fat kiss.
And then I'm going to kiss him for taking off the hat.
Everyone's getting kissed tonight. I have to get to this straight away.
Better,
I need to address this straight away.
Absolutely.
Tony Robles.
Dude.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Thank you very much. Tony Robles says, congrats. I put my money where my mouth is. So, for those of you who haven't seen the pinned post in the live chat, I am giving away tonight to one lucky viewer at the end of the show a $100 Helidope Toys gift card where you'll be able to go and purchase whatever you want up to $100 US. That came out of the business bank account, and Tony Robles has just covered that. And I am sincerely appreciative, Tony. Thank you ever so much. So please stay tuned till the end. All you've got to do,
Thanks, Tony,
to be in for a chance to win this $100 gift card is to be active in the live chat. So I have set the live chat up so that only subscribers who've been a subscriber of the channel for at least 24 hours, because I didn't want someone to
just
subscribe in the last 5 minutes and then go and obviously win the prize.
And don't confuse that. Don't confuse that with members. Just subscribe to the channel.
Just subscribers. Yeah. All subscribers. No, you don't have to be a paid member of the channel. I'll be doing another giveaway for members and patrons a bit later on another show. So, but Tony, thank you very much. Let's catch up with a few other super chats. So M Vargo, thank you very much. He says, congrats on the big 60K. An extra congrats on the most recent video doing so well. Great time to be part of Analog Toys. Yeah, that video is just going and going. It's like the Energizer Bunny.
It was at 81K when I logged on. I don't know what it's at now, but it was at 81,000 when I logged in.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's still around there at the moment. Let's have a quick look. You know, it was at like, I don't know, 77,000 when I went to bed last night.
Dude, the research that you put into that and seeing all the sketches and the mock-ups and stuff that you referenced, I was like, oh, I freaking love this video.
It's also a little interesting that people are more interested in Kenner Star Wars toys that weren't produced than they are in Hasbro Star Wars that are produced.
Yeah.
There's that too.
Bingo. Yeah. And I think, and that's probably what really surprised me about the success of this video. You know, I thought this video was going to top out at 10,000 views or something like that, and it just took off. Right? Someone asked me yesterday if it was similar to the way the Thunderbirds Tracy Island video took off, and I couldn't quite remember. And I went back and had a look, and actually, that Thunderbirds Tracy Island video did pretty poorly for the first week. And then something happened around the 6th or 7th day, and then it took off. This one just took off as soon as it was posted. And I posted it in the middle of the week, and my channel obviously gets a lot more views over the weekend. So I am expecting that to keep going throughout Saturday and Sunday, and then we might start to see it plateau next week, or maybe it'll keep going. But yeah, Michael, that's a great point, because I wasn't expecting that, and I think that's 100% it. People are more interested in the stuff that Kenner designed but didn't put out than actually what's out there now. Yeah.
Well, and that kind of ties in a little bit with your retroblasting, your rather live stream with retroblasting, talking about once Hasbro had the license. You know, I'm of the age where I was too old in '95 to really be in toys. I was working and girls and all that stuff. But
yeah,
I don't think Hasbro's ever really captured, for me, for my taste, captured what Kenner did. You know, I mean, the legacy stuff is amazing, and I have nothing against that. But the toy-etic part of it, that Kenner, you know, looking around and knowing what they did, I don't know, and seeing what they had planned, for my money.
Yeah, I mean, there is someone out there who's managed to do that.
There is indeed. I got this in the mail today too.
I don't have him yet. I don't have.
I got the regular carded one, but then I kept looking, and I'm like, I got to get the one with the coin. So yeah,
nice
today.
Yeah, I've got to place an order for that figure definitely.
I'm behind.
I haven't actually ordered it yet. So
I got my Fleet Troopers.
Yeah, those are beautiful.
They're very nice.
They are kick ass.
Yeah.
Ravenwitch66, thank you. Says, congrats, Tony, long-time subscriber here. Much appreciated. I remember seeing Ravenwitch in the live stream yesterday on Retroblasting as well. So thank you. Anyone know this guy here?
He's from the West Coast.
Ryan, young man.
He's from San Diego.
No, worse, Seattle.
Yeah.
San Diego.
Laser Bouncy says, "You're welcome. I've been a really great mentor for you, young man." Ryan. Wow.
You're killing me.
Oh, this is killing me as well. With that hat, I expect you to start asking me about timelines. We need to establish the timeline. Oh, thank you, Ryan. You pain in the ass. No, not a super chat, but a comment I wanted to bring up. Deborah David says, at Analog Toys, how do you remove rust from plastic? I don't have an answer to this, but I'm trying to understand how plastic gets rusty in the first place. So I don't know what you're doing with the plastic.
Well, say, the screw is in a hole that's plastic and there's rust in there, or it's been stored up against. Depending on the plastic, I'll say what I've used. I've used one of those Mr. Clean Magic erasers. That's actually worked. But you're actually micro sanding the plastic. You're removing some of the plastic. I think Melinda used it on one of the repairs, possibly the Y-wing on one of the retroblasting restorations, and mentioned that you're actually removing a bit of the plastic, but you can get the rust out. And
I've used the same little glass fiber pen that you can use to clean a contacts to do that on plastic. But again, you're micro scraping.
Right, that'll work too, sure.
Have you ever attempted this, Keith? Because it's not something I've ever tried, really.
I actually got an Action Man a couple of weeks ago that a naked 19, I think it was a 1970s Action Man, so it was before the blue pants and the eagle eyes.
With all the metal rivets in the joints,
Yeah, all the metal rivets. It was a gripping hands and a flocked head, but it wasn't the 78 version. And some of the rivets were really rusted. They still worked fine, but they were just rusted. The thing is, for me, if you're going to be putting a uniform on it, does it really matter if it's discoloured the plastic?
No, well that's probably why I've never tried it, because if it's hidden under the uniform, I don't.
In that instance,
exactly.
As long as the rust doesn't come through the fabric, that it's so bad. I would try to get most.
I treated the rust with a mixture of lighter fluid, which is the classic, because it's a lubrication as well as a cleaner. And then I tend to put a little bit of toothpaste, believe it or not, over the top of the rivet, because that actually acts as a very, very good cleaner. And it's not corrosive, because obviously it's meant to be used on your teeth. So it actually acts as an anti-corrosive. And it works. It doesn't work all the time, but it works. And it makes
4 to 5 dentists recommend it.
That's right. My Action Man rivets have never been whiter.
Or more minty fresh.
That's right.
I feel a spoof commercial coming on here. Jason Evangelista, thank you. He says, congrats, Tony. Next stop, 70K and beyond.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I don't know when we're going to get there. It's I'm just enjoying the journey at the moment. I'm really enjoying the journey. You have your ups and downs on YouTube, but nothing's ever come close to making me want to quit yet. So there we go. Thank you very much, Jason. Robert Diaz, thank you for the super chat. He says, congrats on 60,000 subs, Tony. Here's something to help you buy a Vegemite taco from Taco Bell. Yes, they are real. Really?
Vegemite taco? Ooh, is that like a breakfast taco? Because that sounds really good.
Yeah, Pete, you quite enjoyed the Vegemite when you were
I did. I ended up, yeah.
It's the Taco Bell part that's bothering me, not the Vegemite.
Well, I was like,
not the Vegemite, the Taco Bell.
If you go breakfast, you're thinking like, okay, scrambled eggs, that's relatively safe, even though it still is prepared at a Taco Bell. A little Vegemite.
Michael Frazier, thank you. He says, congratulations, Tony. Thank you very much. Gojatron.
Hey, Carl.
How are you, man? He said, "Congrats, Tony. Great job
Carl.
coordinating the wardrobes tonight, man." Do you know this wasn't planned?
Nope.
We just jumped
It
on,
wasn't.
and
It wasn't.
I had the shirt on. Keith had the shirt on. Scuba didn't have the shirt on, and Michael Shaffer joined us a little bit later. So then, when Shaffer came in and he had the shirt on, Mrs. Scuba Pete said, "Oh, I can't be doing it. It was messing with her feng shui." So
Yeah.
she came in from stage left and gave Pete his shirt.
Yeah,
So-
she said I looked like a knobber, and I'm like, yeah, give me my shirt.
Well, I think Keith and Tony might have the same color blue, but Pete and I have different blue.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
I don't think it's
Yeah,
the camera.
this was
differences.
the first picture I ever posted on your Patreon long ago. Was me in this shirt, and you said, "Now we finally know how ugly Scuba is."
Oh.
No, he didn't. He didn't say that.
So I'm not
Let's
going
let
to
him
say
get-
that to any man who's my age and has still got a full head of hair. So
Let's let him get through all these chats and everything. If you're backed up, I don't know where you
let's
are.
not chat about age, shall we, chaps? Let's not talk. Let's not go
Well,
to
I
the
mean,
age.
didn't you
Vin
meet
Connolly,
Churchill?
thank you.
In
He says,
Atlanta. Dance.
in Atlanta for a dance competition. Samantha and I send our love. Congratulations, Tony. Thank you very much, and
Cool.
and best of luck at your dance competition
Yeah, go get
tonight,
'em.
Schaer and Samantha. Much appreciated. Darth Wizzy Wizard
Hey, Wizzy.
says, "Congrats on 60,000 subscribers. Excited for 600K. I'm excited for 100K. It's when you get that big paperweight from YouTube. When you use it as a doorstop, keep the toilet door open. And I can look at it while I'm pooping." Last call with our friend Troy Pacelli. Thank you very much. Says, "Congratulations, Tony. I hope you have a good drink to celebrate on me. Cheers." I will. I had a few drinks last night. I'll be having a few tonight. I do need to get back to work on my Indiana Jones video. It's getting bigger, much bigger than I expected.
That's what she said.
What is it about Indiana Jones projects that just grow and grow? You and Michael, and is it the passion, just such a lifelong passion for it?
I think so, and I wanted to, I've discussed in a number of other videos and live streams about the untapped potential that was there to bring Indiana Jones into the Action Man toy line. And I was like, but I've never really done a deep dive. It's like, if I'm going to do a deep dive, I want to cover everything. So I'm going through each of the specifically the original trilogy. I'm not really worrying about the other two, because by the time they came out, the films weren't set in the 30s and 40s anymore, and Palatoy was no longer around, so they wouldn't have been making Action Man stuff for those films.
Right.
But I'm literally going through the movie scene by scene by scene, and then explaining to the audience what Action Man toys were available that you could use to recreate that scene in the movie, and this scene, and all the different weapons that were available, and this. And when I sat down to write it, I was like, yeah, this is going to be like a 20 to 30 minute video. The script is now 2 pages longer than my Big Ben script, and that was a 28-minute video. And I've only just started writing about Last Crusade. And then I've got another chapter. I'm not doing chapters in this, but there's another kind of segment about all of the other possibilities that aren't related to the movies, Because we as kids, we would take our Star Wars figures on different adventures. They would even encourage you to do that with the commercials on TV, where you would see like C-3PO getting rescued up the side of a cliff using the tow hook from the snowspeeder.
Yep.
So there was, of course, all these other possibilities within the Action Man line. So this is going to be an enormous video. And yeah, when I sat down to write it, I never thought it would be that big of a video, but that's the way it's going. And I'm happy for it. I just wanted to keep going and produce the biggest, best Indiana Jones video that I can. So
that's a great what if question, though, to try and answer.
And it's merging
Yeah.
two things that you love, Action Man and Indiana Jones. So
Exactly, and that's something that I touch on in both the intro, and I will be kind of recapping at the end as well. Is about that though, and the influence that the character of Indiana Jones and the toy of Action Man, the influence that it had on me and who I've become today. So, gentlemen, we have another esteemed guest who has just joined us in the green room.
Oh, right.
Oh,
Yes.
Who is it?
Well, some people say he can slam a banhammer quicker than Thor. It is not the Stig from Top Gear. It is the Moderator Supreme, Mr. Timothy Ward. How are you, sir?
Hey, Tim!
I am doing well. I am doing well. I kind of feel a little paranoid because I'm looking at your guys' backgrounds. Actually, we're in the middle of doing some remodel work on our basement. So all the stuff that's normally behind me on the shelf is gone. So if you look, those shelves are empty. I mean, I still got the stuff on the walls, but you guys have like these awesome displays behind you. So I'm a little insecure, but you know, what are you going to do?
Not at all. You're the master moderator. You have nothing to be insecure
Yes,
about.
you've taught us everything we know, Sensei.
No, I don't know. I mean, you guys are pretty quick. You're pretty quick with the hammer too. I gotta tell you. I'll have to be halfway through a thing, and if you guys have already taken care of it, like, oh, I'm slow.
Oh, yeah, another moderator's already. Yeah. That's.
I'm slow. And don't be bothered by that. I'm just a teacher and all, you know.
I find myself trying to moderate on streams. I'm not even a moderator. I'm like, I have no power.
Oh yeah. I don't want to reply, and that's all I can do. So no, thank you.
Well, I mean,
Pete, good
you
to see you,
are
my friend. Good to see you. Good to see you again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pete, you are actually.
I'm definitely not going to swear now. I'm definitely not going to swear now.
I work with middle school students. I hear stuff like that all the time.
But you're just. But you are like as Tony says, you are the hammer as a moderator. But you're also such a nice bloke. I just don't feel right swearing in front of you. I just don't feel right.
I have given Tim the power to just kick you out of the stream, Keith, if he needs to. So.
And I suspected that, which is why I've just licked his ass.
Well, there we go. All right, Schaefer, you hit the button.
You
Michael's like,
just full, you know.
Arse is not swearing. Arse is not swearing.
He doesn't. Yeah, but it's what you did to the arse that is so disturbing.
The visual image
You
you
didn't
just
pat
created.
him on the arse.
put
you
the
didn't-
tape back.
Jesus.
Can we just put this on the cutting room floor and then continue where we left off?
Yes, Jason Anderson. There's
Exactly.
Keith just got you demonetized.
No,
This has suddenly become a very different kind of channel.
All right.
No, if his arse a demonetising word.
Suka, thank you.
Tim turned up. It's his fault.
Thank you for the super chat, Suka. He says, for the 70,000 subscriber celebration, I hope the giveaway is a dinner date with Tony.
Oh.
Nice.
I don't know how Mrs. Analog Toys would feel about that. And speaking of Mrs. Analog Toys,
Wow.
here she is. I don't know who can pronounce that name, but this is Grace's real name. This is Kritia Kumwangsa.
Wow.
She is she's at work today, babe. If I say I miss you, are you going to believe me? I am having a pretty chill morning with my friends here, but
We
thank
love
you very much for the super chat, babe. She says, Analog Toys, congrats on 60K. Here are 60,000 reasons to celebrate. This live stream is much more entertaining than work, that's for sure. He's only saying that because you're on here, Keith. Grace is a huge Keith Knight fan, so.
Oh, absolutely. Who?
Can I just say that when I was chatting with Gracie, when Tony was in America last year, and Gracie messaged me one night just for a chat. I think she was missing Tony so much she just wanted to speak to someone else that was a bit of an arsehole.
You'll do.
And she actually taught me how to say her name, Kritia Kumwangsa. So she actually taught me
Almost.
how to say that. So when I read that, I can read it as she would say it. So there.
How is it again? Slow it down. Kritia.
Kritia.
Kritia. I got that part. And what's the last part?
Kumwongsa.
Kumwongsa.
She's probably cringing at all this conversation.
I'm sorry.
There's never been a prettier.
Kritia.
Truth.
Leave
Well,
it
hey,
to
look,
Pete.
This is why we just call her F-bomb, because she's amazing. Love you, Grace. Have a safe day at work, and I'll see you tonight. Mootron78 just become a channel member. Thank you for joining, Mootron.
What's up?
And Danny Dukes, thank you for the super chat. He says, congratulations on the 60,000 subscribers and keep up the good work. I will, sir. I've been working furiously for the last week on another video that I really think you guys are going to enjoy. So, who's this fella here?
Super chat.
Says, rats. Even the super chat won't let me swear.
Harumph.
I did, yeah.
Keith, you could have just said that to my face. You didn't need to send a super chat, but it is much appreciated. My friend.
It got rejected 3 times until I cleaned it up.
Those are the filters Tim has in place, thank God.
Uh-oh.
Give the governor a harumph.
Oh,
Now
sorry.
y'all butchered
I'm sorry,
my-
Gracie.
We'll just call you F-bomb. As Jason Anderson says here, aka the F-bomb.
I think it's hilarious that she says y'all.
Y'all, right? I like it.
She doesn't say that in real life. So I don't know. Yeah. That might have been predictive text or something. Brendan Haley, thank you. Our friend Brendan Haley.
Good man.
He says, congrats on hitting 60,000 and remaining true to yourself and values. I have tried my best to do that, yes. Thanks to you for your ongoing friendship and support.
Love you, pal.
Likewise, thank you.
Oh, mate.
Love you, we're almost caught up here. So the last super chat for now. Brian Dillingham, thank you very much for the kind super chat. He says, congrats on 60K. It is well deserved for your great content, helping us through the pandemic and laser pants butchering of the English language.
An epic Dillinghamism.
Yes, it's Brian Dillingham, not Dillingham, Ryan. You should send another super chat to apologize, Ryan.
Like he's
See what I did there?
like he's Brian Pickled Ham, Dillingham.
Yeah.
Like again, West Coast, these guys.
I could go for some ham.
Suddenly I'm craving salty meat.
As I'm sitting here chatting to you fine gentlemen, this reprobate has just come and camped on my lap, and he's obviously been outside because he's absolutely saturated, absolutely soaking. So now, subsequently, so am I soaking wet.
So,
That's
Keith, are you complaining about having a wet pussy in your lap?
I knew that was coming.
I wasn't going to say it. I'm trying to be good.
Hold on a minute.
A soaking wet pussy.
I'm not allowed to say lick arse, and you can say that.
Correct.
Well, we are past the first half hour, so it's the gloves
I'm
are
talking
off.
about the cat. So which cat's that, Keith? Which cat is it?
How does that work?
Perseus, isn't it?
How does that work? Well, first you
This is
open the.
chaos.
Never mind.
Tim's like,
Tony
why did
throw
I
up."
click that link?
Poor Tim.
See what I mean? See, I've been given strict instructions to behave myself, and everyone else is being an arse.
Classic.
Wow.
Blame the British. You blame the French. We blame the British. That's how it works.
Yep.
Hold on a minute. I'm not.
No, Tony's British.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's an Englishman.
It's Tony's fault then.
Well, but Anyway,
Who's that in the background?
that's
Is what?
I
Not
can
here.
hear
I
someone
don't think.
talking in the background somewhere. I wanted to discuss for a little moment, guys. I'm going to share a screen here.
Ooh, fancy.
Ooh, share screen, share window.
Yeah.
My Palatoy Story by Bob Brechin.
Mr. Breaking.
I wanted to take a few moments to give Bob Brechin a huge shout out. For those in the chat who don't know who Bob Brechin is, that would really surprise me. But Bob Brechin was the chief designer on Action Man for 17 of the 18 years of production. He was the chief designer and brand manager, I think it was, of the Palatoy Action Force line. He created the Robo Skull. He sculpted Action Man's gripping hand. He's an absolute legend of the British toy industry. And he has written an exhaustive book telling the history of this company. I know that there's quite a few of us here on screen who backed this when it was part of a Kickstarter, yeah?
Yep.
Yes,
I did. Yeah, I did. Definitely.
indeed.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
So the Kickstarter campaign is over. However, you can still pre-order the book. I will drop the...
I did it.
Pete's already
Pete.
done it. Look at
See,
that.
that's what I'm talking about. I'm not the legend that I used to be because people like Pete. Done. I'm a pretender to the throne.
You're the Godfather.
Let me put it this way: if you don't know who Bob Brechin is, even Ryan knows who Bob Brechin is, and Ryan proudly has not even seen Ghostbusters. So
I know.
I'll just leave it with that.
There we go. Yep. So yeah, although the Kickstarter campaign is over, you can still pre-order this book. And if we switch over to the actual campaign here, so there's a great profile shot of Bob. There's a lot of information on kind of how the book is laid out. So as I said, Bob is the designer of the original Palatoy Action Force Robo Skull.
Yeah.
This cover image of the book features a whole bunch of different kind of toy products that were sold by Palatoy, overlaid over an image of the original factory in Colville.
Mhm. That's so cool.
There are some really fascinating images that are going to be in this book of, you know, AT-ATs on the production line at the Colville factory.
Oh.
Bob created the cardboard Palatoy Death Star playset. You know, there's a whole segment around how that was designed. Look at this image here.
Oh man,
Action
that
Man.
had to be so good to set up.
Could you imagine how fun that would have been to create that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, my
absolutely.
It was
Absolutely,
Brian
yeah.
Turner's job. Brian Turner was the display manager for
job.
Palatoy. Yeah, he was the guy who used to
Paid
design
to
all
do
the
that.
indoor displays and put them in acrylic cases and send them out to retailers around the country. You know, he would do. He used to make these amazing ones with the divers underwater. You know, all kind of hidden behind acrylic and that kind of thing. Bob has unearthed a lot of old photographs like this. So this is an actual display that was in like the reception area of the Palatoy factory in 1967. So that when visitors came in, you would actually see a display of the Action Man product that they were selling at that particular time.
Wow.
Amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Tiny Tears being packaged on the assembly line.
I worked with a guy.
That's a creepy shot right there.
Yeah.
They were hands.
Every time I hear Tiny Tears, there was a guy we worked with that we called Tiny Tears because the guy was just a big crybaby, and we called him Tiny Tears. Like other people in other locations even called him Tiny Tears because he was
Hold me close now,
Yeah.
Tiny Tears.
big crybaby. Anyway, need a hand?
The crazy thing about that particular photograph right there is that now as an advert on eBay
Oh boy.
would be worth how many hundreds of pounds?
Oh, okay.
The
I was
gripping hand.
worried.
Yeah, the gripping hands photograph. Yeah, the gripping.
I was worried where you're going with that that photo on. I didn't know what you were gonna say. Sorry.
Oh, the tiny tears.
Oh, I thought you meant of the fists.
No, the gripping hands.
Right.
Yeah, so the first version of the gripping hands that was introduced in 73 was changed in 79. So the hands that were available from 73 through to 78 were made of a material called Kraton because it had an elastic property so that you could flex Action Man's fingers, get him to grip things, and they would return to their original mold, or the original shape.
Yeah, it can even take Superman down. I remember.
Yeah. And they but that particular material has deteriorated over time. So these hands are very, very hard to get today. So yeah, if you had a tub full of those, you'd sell these pairs of hands in good condition. They'd sell for, I don't know what they sell for now. You'd get $30-$40 for a nice pair.
I bet. I mean, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask. Wasn't the existence of the material, the Kraton, wasn't that what made Bob think of, hey, we can do this? Or was it the material and they said we need to use this somehow? How did that work?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. So they were setting up Action Man on a display at Toy Fair,
right? And
Bill Pugh, who was the head of the design research and development department, that's the man Bob and everyone reported to. He was setting up the figures on a display at Toy Fair, getting very, very frustrated that Action Man couldn't easily hold the weapons with the original design of the fixed hands that were copied from the 60s G.I. Joe. So he basically set the team to task to make a new type of hand for Action Man that could better grip the weapons. And I don't remember who first suggested the material of Kraton, whether I'd have to go back to my documentary. I don't remember whether it was Bob or Bill who suggested that particular material, but once they kind of came up with this material, then they set to work, and Bob sculpted the hand by literally just looking at and studying his own left hand. So Action Man's hands so if you ever wanted to read Bob Reekin's fortune on his palm, you just grab an Action Man one and look at the lines on there. So
it's a very long line.
Because I remember how flocking worked, because that was originally invented for the automotive industry to flock parts and all that. And I knew all that, but I didn't know if the material was the thought, hey, there is this material that can do this, so we can do this with the hand, or if they came up with the hand and thought, now we need to find the material that can do this. I wasn't sure how that worked. That's all.
Yeah. So what came first was the brief from the head of the design research and development department to say, hey, we need a new hand. Then they had to set about, and it was a combination of Bob sculpting it and then finding the right material to use. So
understood.
Palato obviously did a lot of fashion dolls as well. So this book, will appeal to both male and female. Actually, I don't know why I'm saying male and female collectors, because there's nothing wrong if males want to collect dolls.
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, technically Action Man's a doll, so I collect dolls as well. What's it Michael French says? If the pants come off, it's a doll.
Yep.
I'm a doll.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I've always called Migos dolls. Migos were all dolls to me. So,
yeah.
But yeah, look, and obviously Bob has collaborated with Brian Hickey, who is the photographer and kind of graphic designer of a series of Action Force books that have come out over the last couple of years as well, which I have copies of all of those.
Books.
They are great books. They are really, real high quality, coffee table books. And I'm just wondering when I get my copy of this book, and I'll probably end up reading it front to back 2 or 3 times. Just wondering how many video ideas I'm going to get out of this as well.
Yeah, you better have a notepad handy because it's going to get exhausted.
Yeah, well, and I also think there's going to be a bunch of things I'm reading through and going, so when I did a video about this, I actually got my facts incorrect. I'm sure that's going to happen as well.
Or it could be a situation where you read something and you're like, that brings back a memory of a fact that you heard directly from somebody, and it'll remind you of something else that you can make a video about. So it could.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, next up on the don't mean to toot my own horn, but I'm going to do it. Next up on the Scubas, everybody laughs. We only have 2 videos. The third video is going to be a day with Bob Brechin and friends when we came this spring and did Lester Vintage Toys and met up with a bunch of pals. And then at lunch, here comes Bob Brechin strolling to the table. And I'm like, that's Bob Brechin. and I'm thinking, wow, I can't believe he's eating lunch at the same pub we are. This is amazing. And Alan and Nick are like,
he's using his gripping hands.
yeah. Oh, just great. So I can't wait to post all those pictures in a video. Good time.
So you were never expecting to meet Bob Brechin. Who was it again that kind of organized that for you?
That was Alan and Nick.
Alan
got
Dawson.
With Bob. Yeah, Alan Dawson and Nick of Action Pop.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nick Barnaby.
I mean, I was literally, that's the thought I had in my mind was, wow, he's eating lunch at the same place we are. And then I'm like, hey, and I looked over at Nick and Alan and they were like, and Bob walked up and he said, you must be Scuba Pete. And I'm like, and you're Bob Brechin. Hey, sit down. Like, holy crap. So good. He's like, I'm going to be taking you around Colville, showing you the Palatoy site.
Fantastic.
Blown away.
I remember the first time I met Bob. It had been about 6 to 12 months in the making because we'd been communicating over email as I was, writing the story for my Action Man documentary. And I remember being very, very excited the first time I got an email response back from Bob. Then when I met him in person, like I'm not someone who gets exactly starstruck.
Right.
But I was way more excited to meet Bob for the first time than I ever would have been to meet any kind of sporting hero or
Hollywood actor. Yeah.
This guy had a bigger influence on my life than most people really imagine. It was incredible to meet him.
He is such a gentleman. Like he took those 2-3 hours out of his day and he literally was leaving us to go talk to a ladies group that was meeting and they were, and he was going to once again, tell a little bit about the Palatoy story for them. I mean, he's just this massive ambassador for Palatoy, for the community of Colville. I mean, it's just, God, class act.
He always comes across as so passionate about what he'd done.
Mm-hmm.
And so he should be so passionate and so
proud. He's rightfully very proud of it. Yeah.
So he should be. I mean, I as a child growing up with Action Man, I mean, Action Man was my main toy as a child. It really was, and I didn't know about Bob Brechin. I knew that Palatoy was the toy company because that was the address you had to send the stars away to. So, and I was a member of I was always sending away on the star schemes, sellotaping stars onto that red fold out card. And it's only in later years that I realised that Bob Brechin was the man that did all that. And then when I actually watched Tony's History of Action Man video, which is in 3 parts on YouTube, if you haven't seen it, watch it. It's superb, by the way.
It really is.
Yep.
And Bob Brechin appears on there, and I was amazed because Bob Brechin looks like Father Christmas. He looks like Santa Claus. He does.
Well, there is something to that because not only the incredible designs and the legacy of what he did with the toys, but the way he carries himself with grace and dignity throughout his life. There's that on top of it. That's a little special because he could just be a complete ass and have done all this amazing work. But on top of the amazing work, he seems to be an amazing man. So
he does. And I think to be honest, looking back, seeing Bob Brechin as I do now, and knowing what he created and knowing what I played with as a child from the age of probably about 7 right up until till now, basically 55. Bob Brechin looks like Father Christmas. And if you've ever watched Of course, you've watched the film Miracle on 34th Street, all different versions of.
Never seen any of them.
I
Really?
believe.
I don't go for Christmas movies. But now that you've said this, Keith, now I can't unsee the fact that Tim kind of looks like Father Christmas.
Me?
Yeah, you.
I'll
He
take
is,
it.
he is getting ready for the holiday season.
Yeah. It's all the gray that's growing here.
We got a few chats here that I wanted to highlight. So, super chats and a couple of other chats. So, King Eric, the greatest of all, thank you very much. He says, Keith needs an action figure called Sir Swears a Lot. Congratulations, Tony, on the well-deserved milestone.
Oh my god!
Sir Swears a Lot.
Eric Sire. I've not sworn once tonight, well, apart from arse. But arse is not a swear word.
He wants to swear a lot.
Tim Hayes says that he has more gray in his beard than I do. And I just want to reiterate the fact that Tim Hayes is such a young man.
He is.
If you haven't noticed, I've fixed up Keith's name there on the stream.
No, I'm not allowed to swear. If I'm Sir Swear a Lot, then I should start swearing.
Yes,
What's up, Tim?
Tim, Mr. Captain Greybeard.
But Tim's probably younger than everybody here on screen right now. Tim Hayes,
Me and
There's the same age as Tony.
Yeah.
me and
Oh,
Tim
that's
were,
right.
we were born on the exact same day. So
Right.
I think with the time difference, I'm technically probably a few hours older than Tim, depending on when he was born during the day.
Talking about Tim Whitney.
Hayes. No.
Oh, Tim Hayes. That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
Tim Hayes.
Yeah.
The Dragon Reborn says he got to hang out with Bob Brechin for 10 hours when he came to Dublin. It was only the two of us, and we were going through subjects quicker than Mastermind. Very engaging man. He is so generous with his time, man. He really is.
Yeah, Dragon had him. Carol had him up to his loft, where he's got his collection, and he was sending me some shots, like, post visit, and he's like, "Guess who was up in the loft today?" And I was like, "Holy crap! You were hanging out with Bob Brechin. No wonder you were quiet today."
We have here. I'm trying to multitask here.
It's all right.
We have Retroblasting in the house. Good to see you again,
Hey.
Michael. He says, "Wow, I heard this stream was featuring Tim Ward, and I have not been disappointed." How could anyone be disappointed by the presence of Tim Ward?
My wife and my kids, but other than that.
I'm sure they don't really mean that.
Can I just say?
No, you can't.
When I first became, when I first started watching the live streams way back in the Middle Ages, and I became a patron, Tim Ward's name would pop up in the chat with a spanner beside it in blue with a spanner. And I was actually scared of Tim Ward. I was really terrified of him. Because I thought, my God, he is so bloody good. This guy is so bloody good. And it actually scared me a little bit. I thought, I've got to be so careful of what I say, because I don't. The last thing I want to do is get banned from this this channel that I've just found. But I've since found out that Tim Ward, you are an actual cuddly teddy bear, is what you are. You're an absolute teddy bear.
He's a peach.
Yeah, you are a wonderful human being. You're a wonderful human being.
And you know what I've realised over this period of time as well, Keith, is that you are quite technologically challenged. And I'm sure there was a lot of people on this stream who actually had to give you hours and hours of online tutorials so that you could just figure out how to comment in a live chat. Most likely. Do you know, every time I post a live stream or something to Patreon, I typically send Keith a private message as well, because he'll be like, "Oh, I never got the notification." And I'm like, yeah, that's a problem on your end, and there's something you're not doing right, because everybody else gets it.
Tony,
Well,
at
Schaefer,
my age,
you've had
is
some
always-
experience with this, haven't you?
Tony, at my age, is always a problem on my end.
He's used to the newspaper coming on chiseled
There are
tablets
hills,
of
but-
stone.
Right. It's like, come on, Father Time. I'll show you the StreamYard link.
Yeah, so you all pick on me, and it's not fair. I try to be nice. I try to
Only
be
'cause
nice.
we love you.
Mate, you all force me to be bad. Not my fault. I swear a lot. You lot drive me to it.
We make you who you are. So it's our fault.
It is. Yep.
You have no responsibility here whatsoever.
Thank you for admitting it.
You do sound like a cop.
My 82,000 views on the video now and still
Nice.
going.
Sweet.
Wow.
Nice.
My God.
And to be honest, that did not require you to purchase a single thing. I mean,
Right.
imagine that, because a lot of times people will have these videos where they went
Mhm.
and bought the latest and greatest brand new thing from the shelves,
Mhm.
and that was all stuff that you found via research, as opposed to you had to spend $200 or whatever to buy something.
Yeah, and the research I probably used about, I think there was about 4 or 5 different web pages where I kind of collated all the information. But to your point there, Tim, like I really believe, like, a lot of the YouTubers who go out there and really try to promote things like the Giant Man HasLab and the Ghost Star Wars ship, that kind of thing, they end up buying that toy because they want to make a video and they think the video is going to do really well. And it never does, because everyone gets the same HasLab at the same time. And then within a period of 3 or 4
Yeah,
weeks,
just
there are
flood
all
it
of
out.
these different videos that appear on YouTube. It doesn't work.
It only works if you have that unique perspective. I mean, honestly, kind of like you with the Big Ben, kind of like Michael with his lifelong understanding of Indiana Jones. I mean, if somebody doesn't have a unique perspective, it just becomes it's
Noise.
white noise. It's white noise. Everybody has the same thing.
Yeah. And you know, you mentioned Michael, and you mention his name,
Well,
and he shall appear.
Ta-da! What's up?
No, he said Candyman too many times. Hello,
We're going to be
Michael.
looking for bees. Ah. Tony, congratulations! By the way, you're getting to 60,000, and I just heard from Tim Ward just a second ago saying your video is now at 80,000 hits.
82,000. Yeah.
Good Lord, man, that's
Yeah, it's
awesome.
just like a rocket.
Like I said earlier, 82,000 views for something Kenner never made versus views for things Hasbro actually made.
Well, again, the most famous sitcom in America was the one that was about nothing.
truth.
Very true.
Exactly.
So I think this is a
Exactly.
lesson we should all learn. Make videos about nothing at all.
Yeah. And what Tim was also saying is that and it was a video where I didn't even need to go and buy a single toy. It was just online research. I was trying to find the best quality imagery possible. That was quite challenging with a lot of this stuff. The actual portfolio presentation that Kenner took to Lucasfilm is in someone's collection. I don't know who. It's in someone's collection, but they've only ever uploaded like these really small,
Right.
highly pixelated images. Because they were uploaded a long time ago. Digital cameras and stuff have come a long way, but it kind of reminds me like someone took photos of this with a little flip phone or something like 15 years ago. This
On their
highly
BlackBerry.
pixelated image. Yeah. How are you doing tonight, Michael?
I can't complain. I could complain a lot because if you've ever restored a Terradrome, horrible. But I'm finally on that path. It's like the toy collector equivalent version of the Walk of Shame. I swear, it's like I know now why I delayed doing it for 6 years, and all my instincts were correct, by the way. But no, I did that, and now I had dinner and wanted to jump on the stream and say congratulations at 60,000 subscribers. That's big. Like that's that's a huge hurdle. That this video will kick you over that and then some for a while. I expect.
I hope so. Yeah. I was I don't know if I said it at the start of the stream or when we were in the green room before we started. For some weird reason, I really did feel as though like 50,000, it felt like a bigger milestone at the time because it's halfway to 100. It's because I've got OCD. It's a nice round number kind of thing. But I remember the days on this channel where I would celebrate every 1,000 subscribers. 4,000, 5,000.
Yeah.
I've got to the point now where I'm
16.
I'm just celebrating, each 10,000 subscriber milestone. So when I get to 100, that's it. I'm not celebrating again until I get to 1 million. By the time I get to 1 million, I will look worse than Indy did in Dial of Destiny.
He'll be like Dr. Evil in the chair.
That's what I want to have.
Million subscribers.
When you get to 100,000, I want to be like, Tony, you got to 100,000. What's it like? And I want you to be like, it hurts everywhere. And then I just
everything hurts.
I'm loving the background.
No, I did it because I got paid.
I got paid.
Holy smokes!
Lord.
Jeez.
What
Toy Scourge.
Toy Scourge TV. Wow.
Oh my God.
Good gracious.
Great
Very
work on the 60K, Tony. Congratulations. Always pleased to be able to support local. Hope to be able to buy you a beer down in Perth someday.
Shazam.
I don't think I've ever gotten a super chat this big in the history of the channel.
I saw Tony Robles.
Yeah.
We had $100 one earlier today, and now this is incredible. Thank you very much. And hey, reach out to me because I'm going to Perth towards the end of November. I'm going down for an extended weekend. Me and Grace are going to watch a big Coldplay concert at a new arena down in Perth. So
Cool.
I'm taking the opportunity. I'm having like 5 days down there. So yeah, maybe we will catch up and have a beer. Reach out to me. Thank you very much.
Well, everybody who's sending the big super chats, you did hear that he didn't have to spend a dime on that last video, right? I just did point that out.
Not 1 cent.
That is not true, though, of the upcoming indie video. I have spent a lot of money on that video.
Now,
They're paying ahead on that one.
If you go by what the rumors are saying, Tony stole all that content from he who shall not be named.
What?
That piece of garbage. I mean,
Oh,
I don't know. No garbage. Why is that name coming in?
why would anybody steal anything from that?
That garbage man. Yeah, that commenter, he was like, "Oh, you stole this idea, come up with some new content," and I'm like, "Dude, his video after 4 years got 30,000 views. I'm at 82 in 3 days." Like, yeah, people actually want to watch this channel.
I'm really loving, and there's no sarcasm when I say this. I want to give some genuine sentiment here. I'm really loving all the different backgrounds behind you guys right now. So like you've got Tim Ward's, which is like an art gallery of just amazing pop culture, like autographs with like these really nice lightsaber hilts. And then you've got Keith Knight, who has this amazing collection that we know from his photographs includes like an army of amazing Playmobil customs, right?
Oh, my word.
Then you got Tony.
Amazing stuff.
You see the background for Analog Toys, knowing all the videos that he's done. And then you see Michael Schaefer's just immaculately curated Star Trek, Star Wars display. Like you can tell he's like a total fan, like a true, like educated fan. And then you've got Scuba Pete, who's basically just like dropping the mic, bring it. And then he's like, destroying everybody with all of his stuff. Like this, yeah.
I've always thought of Scuba Pete like Baloo. He just looks under rocks and there's ants there and there's prickly pears there. And he just just goes about life.
You're
and
not
finds
wrong.
Whatever he wants.
You're
Yeah.
not wrong. So often it happens like that. I mean, the Midwest is this honey hole for vintage
No, it's not.
toys.
I live in the Midwest.
Now you're like way too west.
Yeah, you're too left coast Midwest. You need, you know,
Yeah, you
I'm
need
in-
to switch
I'm
our way.
outside of
just to-
Des Moines.
that's
There's
not a place.
not squat here.
Now this is going to get really challenging for me now with two Michaels on the stream. So, and I
That's
don't want to refer to the gentleman in the bottom left as French or French.
Yeah.
or anything
As
like
long
that.
as you don't call me French, I don't care. You can call me Mikey. You can call me Mike. You can call me retroblasting jerk. I don't care. Just don't call me by my last name. Other than that, I'm good.
So that the audience understands, it's going to be Michael for Michael French, and then Captain Schafer for Michael Schafer.
Just Schaefer. I lost my first name years and years ago. I'm fine with
Okay.
Schaefer. I need no rank, fake or otherwise.
So a moment ago, Michael was mentioning Schaefer's immaculately curated collection behind him. Michael, do you remember the days when you and I were able to have immaculately curated collections that weren't constantly in a state of flux due to video production?
Right. Right.
Where you got to tear it out.
Oh my
My,
God.
my collection gets like tidied up and gets put display worthy again, like maybe once a year when we have guests coming round that are going to want to see it. And then for the rest, if you go in the collection room now, there's boxes of indie stuff all over the floor. There's Action Man footlockers piled up everywhere.
You remember that? You remember that quote, that famous quote that Harrison Ford said in the late 70s during the production of Star Wars, where he talked about the script and he said, George Lucas can write this stuff, but no human can say it. Like, there's no way.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what people need to understand about these toy videos for YouTube. Like when we make these toy videos, okay, that Action Force Desert Rat video I just made, it's only 3.5 minutes long. Do you know how many areas of my display I had to tear up just to do that 3.5 minutes? You had Voltron in there. You had Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. You had 2 different Star Wars things. You had the Ewoks with the indoor. You had Star Trek. You had all this stuff piled in there. Clash of the Titans. All of that made my display cases look like a demilitarized zone when it was over. And then I had to spend like half a morning putting everything back, where it was supposed to go.
And then how many passes by after that is it? No, that needs to just.
Well, I drew the line when I was like, you can't quite see Ramba, and then I was like, nobody cares about Ramba.
Nobody cares.
Sorry, I'm slightly distracted by something in the. I'm just going to post something in the private chat.
Okay.
Sorry if it came from me.
No.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my god.
Anywho,
All right. I'm sending that one along to the group chat. That's what I'm doing.
It might already be in the group chat. My phone
Oh, it already is.
away.
Oh, it already is. Oh, awesome.
Apologies to the audience. I'm not. I don't mean. I don't like it. I don't typically like it when hosts of a show have these in jokes that the audience aren't in on. But I'm gonna get back to some of these starred super chats and comments. So Rob Vinci just became a channel member. Thank you very much for the support, Rob. Lester San Jose, the Skeptic Tank, has now been a member for 1 month, which means he's been promoted to full corporal.
cool.
Master Son 42. Apologies, this super chat was from quite a while ago. It says, "Why are you cool guys on this dorks channel?" Master Son 42 is just jealous that he didn't get the invite.
I was going to say because he's not. Yeah.
Yeah, and also because he's not a cool guy. I only have cool guys on this channel. So, Master Son, I do need to. I need to. Have you ever been on Analog Toys? I know we do war stories with Michael and Retro Blasting, but have you ever been on Analog Toys? I'm not sure that you have.
You should do a retro talk with him.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I'll
Pallet
rectify
Talk.
that. The
Wrong
Pallet Talk,
channel.
yeah.
Apologies.
No, I like any plugs for dead series.
For dead
series.
Michael's like, I just hurt all over.
Toy Scourge TV, who again, thank you for the incredibly generous super chat you just sent. It also became a channel member as well. So thank you very much for the support. We have the amazing Melinda Mock in the chat. It says, happy 60,000, Tony. Thank you very much, Melinda. Always a pleasure to see you, whether it's here on the 3POA, because the 3POA hit 5,000 this week as well.
Yep.
You know, so
cool.
Ryan, with his quite egotistical, big-headed super chats that he sent earlier, is obviously not a very good studier of numbers. But no, congrats to the 3POA as well. I don't know how that channel is not at 10,000 subscribers by now, but that's because we're toxic and people hate us.
I just heard Britney Spears play off the.
I don't have the soundboard. Like Ryan's the live streaming professional, not me.
It's so good.
Ryan's Fred, yeah.
And speaking of toxic, Just Jeff here says 60,000 like-minded arseholes. Way to go!
Hey, Jeff.
James Bowen says, Tony, you could make a video documenting a real-time growth of a eucalyptus tree, and I'd still find it engaging. That is a quite impressive compliment, and I'm now going to put that down on my list of upcoming video ideas.
He's got that narrator voice, like you're watching National Geographic, like the baby elk.
We need that video. I would watch that video. I would watch that over and over again. I'd watch that. So we need to see that, Tony. You go and find that eucalyptus tree. We need to see that.
There are eucalyptus trees. The street I live on, there are only houses on one side because there's mud flats on the other, but separating like the road and the mud flats is just this row of eucalyptus trees all the way along. So I have to sweep. I say is Grace still watching this? Because it's her that does it more than me.
Well,
once a week we have to sweep up half a dustbin full of dried eucalyptus leaves that have fallen off and blown into the driveway.
And hey,
there's a ton of old ladies over here that would buy that shit.
Right.
Tony,
yes, Keith.
That right there was the introduction to your eucalyptus tree video. Right there. The eucalyptus trees. I want to see that video now. I need to see that video.
Okay. I'll get on it, Keith.
I want to see it if Keith puts on the fez and climbs the eucalyptus tree. Then I'll watch it.
Like a giant koala bear.
Right, exactly. Or that little monkey,
in a koala bear costume with the fez.
With the fez. He has to have the fez on. Anyway.
I've got
Mirage the Vanishing Trooper says
costume. I've actually got a
I don't want to see you dressed up like a pussy.
Petition for Tony to narrate an Australian animal life for National Geographic. Like, yeah, we're not here to fuck spiders.
That's hilarious.
Raw Talk Real Deal says YouTubers need to be 1, engaging and have knowledge and have knowledgeable perspective. 2, have a genuine love for what they cover. 3, not be afraid to tell toy companies to fuck off. And that's you, Tony. Congrats. Except for I have a genuine love of creating the content and a genuine love of toy collecting, but I don't genuinely love all the toys. I don't think you necessarily have to have that piece there. It actually helps when sometimes you don't.
Bionic 6? Sorry.
Thank you for saying that, Michael. This is a good question for everybody. A toy line you ended up collecting, not necessarily to do a video or anything like that, but a toy line you just kind of fell down the rabbit warren with until you realized, I don't even like this. And then you were kind of stuck with it and you had to get rid of it somehow. Everybody, there's got to be one for everybody. No?
Yes, Transformers for me.
Transformers.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was short-lived and done. I gave it all away.
I understand why.
Yeah.
I
like it all.
Dungeons and Dragons because I like got a bunch of it, and now I'm like, why? I never played it. I mean, I like the cartoon, but
Oh, you mean the vintage or the newest ones?
no, the vintage.
Oh, so the advanced Dungeons and Dragons. They are.
Yeah, it's like I have a. Yeah, they're just kind of all over the place, and the prices on those seem to be continually going up. Like you can't snag them for cheap anymore.
Tim,
For me, it's Transformers as well. I hate Transformers.
For me, it wasn't one that I went out to collect. It was one that I inherited. I have a stack of Star Trek plates.
oh
Me too.
yeah,
Me too.
A
Do you want to sell them?
Look at that.
Look at it.
It's
all
probably
up
the
there.
very ones
I
you
have
have up
more
there.
in another room. Yeah.
It's probably the very ones you have up there.
you Michael Schaefer, you and Tim Ward have probably the most comprehensive Stan Solo carded collections, I think, out of everybody.
Yeah.
Courtesy of you.
I just
No.
well, in the long run, I'm too damn cheap to buy anything that's vintage carded. They're all
Why would you?
like General Madine's $100 carded. I'm
Right.
not going to do
Yeah,
that.
it's like
I don't
what?
give a shit about General Madine.
Right.
But these, I mean,
Mhm.
I always wanted carded, and they're mint, perfect, brand new, unpunched. All the check marks that everybody gets excited for, and they're beautiful. So yeah.
They really are.
Yeah, I remember the days only like 15 years ago when you couldn't even give away carded Klatus, and now they're any
Same deal,
minimum
$90,
$100 for any carded figure.
And with the yellowest,
Right.
dingiest bubble, and you're like, ugh.
Exactly.
It's like, is he even in there?
And I wonder, that is curious because it looks like Tri-Logo and Palatoy bubbles didn't yellow nearly as bad, as bad as
Mhm.
the
our-
Kenner versions for some reason. The
Yeah.
plastic
Yeah, but
just
they-
must have been different.
They have the different issue of like being flimsy and cracking and squashing much easier. So
Yeah, the bubble. Correct. It is a different. Yeah.
That yellowing started with like the '84 Jedi line and carried through to Power of the Force, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't see it nearly as much on Star Wars or Empire card backs. It's like you said, the later Jedi, and then on from there. Yeah.
the same with Palatoy Action Force. The first series from '82 doesn't seem to have an issue with yellowing bubbles, but then as soon as they went to the teams in '83 and beyond, I've got a few carded SAS figures that are, the bubbles are all yellowed, but it wasn't an issue on the first wave. So whether they changed the type of plastic they were using, which obviously what happened, could be different
certainly.
factories as well.
Yeah.
Dingy.
Show that again, Pete.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah, that's
was
a
out
great
of Ohio.
example.
this came from across the pond from Gary.
Oh,
Atkins.
right.
Nice.
The stuff you got at Ohio though was amazing. The amount of items you found at that last.
That is
I watched your
butt
chat with Chad.
toy show.
Unbelievable the items you got. Yeah.
I watched that whole talk too. That was crazy.
Until you're there at that show, I heard a couple people talk about it, from last year, and like, oh yeah, I never really got through everything. I never saw everything. And I'm like, what do you mean you didn't see everything? No, we just, there was a couple buildings that I didn't. And I was like, you just use the word plural, and they go, oh yeah, there's like 7. I'm like, what? I'm like, wait, what are we counting? Like a shed or something? And it's like, no, these are like legit buildings. Like, people are displaying livestock, for 4-H fairs and stuff. And then the food trucks outside, the guy spinning tunes as a DJ. I'm like, as a toy collector, you're just like, is this what heaven's like?
You said it was what, 4 or 5 times the size of Joe Fest?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's massive.
So
I
this
can't
is
imagine-
this
I
is
can't
the
imagine
Ohio
going
one.
to a toy show that warrants a jump castle.
Right? Yeah.
How does that work? Hey, I went to this toy show this weekend. They were
right.
handing out funnel cakes. Like, it was amazing. It's like,
They could at this. I mean, it was packed, and and people were willing to wheel and deal. That's
Right.
what blew me away. Like, I was fully prepared for a lot of like, really, pricing. Like, yeah, that's cool, Pass.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Like you said, the guys in the booth looking up on their phones what the prices are on
there
eBay.
was
and then-
nobody was doing that. Nobody was like, "Well, hold on." You're like, "Oh God, launch the eBay app. I'll wait."
Yeah, that's rare for
I'm like,
bigger
I
shows.
can tell you what the sold prices are average
Yeah.
if you like, but no, go ahead. No, none of that. They were just like, if it was $250 for something, and you're, gee, awesome. This is great, and it's in fantastic shape. And you hand it back, and they're like, "Oh, $200." And then you're like, "Well, shit, I gotta take it now because that's even better."
Yeah.
Like I wasn't even having to initiate that. It was awesome. Like somebody pitched.
Pete, for the whole time I've known you, which feels like probably at least 5 years now, you've always been the guy that finds great deals.
Yeah.
It's looking back, it's just bonkers. Right place, right time.
Yeah.
I mean, if you ever come to visit me in Australia, I'm going to get you to go and buy me a lottery ticket while you're here.
You know who Pete reminds me of? Do you guys remember the Looney Tunes episode? It's an old one, but they played it in reruns when we were kids. The one where Yosemite Sam was gold prospecting, but everywhere Bugs Bunny walked, he would just suddenly like go into a seizure and he'd find gold.
Yeah.
Scuba Pete reminds me of that moment where Yosemite Sam is like dickering with the guy to give him like money for that tiny bag of gold that he's like dust practically. Suddenly you hear, "There's gold in them there hills," and suddenly like Bugs Bunny walks in with a boulder of gold. That's Scuba Pete every time.
It really is. A $25 complete mask switchblade. $25.
Anything
From my neighbor
mask.
down the street.
Yeah.
I've got some Star Wars stuff and some other toys. Come look at it.
I go to local places and the little mask figures are
Yeah.
$25,
Yeah.
let alone a complete anything.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Baloo.
Are they really?
I might be exaggerating a smidgen, but not by.
I mean, with the right, if it's a short mask and it's a complete
Short
figure,
mask.
yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yep.
I have some spares.
I mean, I'm finding silly stuff like this. That's Brazil, but near as I can figure by the company that produced it, this is like a kid's party favor,
Right.
because it's out of really cheap plastic. You can put it on a cake or stick it
Right.
on the wall. But
Yeah.
the fact that I found that in the middle of Indiana, something from Brazil, I was like, and it was on the floor as if like, oh yeah, just put it over there. And I'm like, gold.
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder there, Pete. Headcanon says that there are folks that spend more on super chats here and 3POA that equal the Giant Man HasLab, but then you get more value from the super chat. That's very kind of you to say so. Yeah, that Giant Man's not doing very well, is it?
I don't know if it's going to fund.
Well, you think about it. Do I want to, I'm being serious here. Do you want a giant man, or do you want to guarantee that Analog Toys is around for another 60,000 subscriber game? Like, I think the benefit, pro con ratio is much higher keeping Analog Toys in the community than getting an overpriced Ant-Man. I just,
Yeah,
There's big value there.
Yeah.
what was that, Keith?
Done.
I don't know.
I think Keith's being attacked by cats at the moment. Pokey87, thank you very much. Just became a channel member. Much appreciated for the support. James Bowen also became a channel member. Thank you.
Cool.
And we have a super chat here from Just Jeff. Thank you very much. He says, for the Irwin Tony crossover fund. Also for smokes, maybe. I don't know. Australia's expensive. I'm assuming you're talking about the Steve Irwin Tony Roberts crossover. Yeah. I miss Steve Irwin. May he rest in peace.
Oh,
I've still got to hunt down that. Was it you, Michael, was showing me the Crocodile Hunter truck?
Yep. I gotta find
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I gotta get one too. I have to have it now.
My Action Force Desert Rat needs one.
speaking of unconventional vehicles, Keith, was that Harry Potter vehicle that you had found, right?
Yeah. Here it is
He's-
right here. I've stripped it all down.
He's the master at finding Playmobil at the charity shops.
Stripped it all down. It's a Ford Anglia.
Yeah.
The problem is that it doesn't actually say 1/6 scale on the box, but it is 1/6 scale or supposed to be.
Right.
But you can't. And it weren't until I'd stripped the bloody thing down that I realised you can't actually fit an Action Man inside it.
Oh.
Because yeah,
It looks like you should be able to, though. I mean, that thing's huge.
it does. You're right, Michael. It does. But the problem is the two dolls that came with it
Mhm.
are the dolls of 13-year-old boys from the second film of Harry Potter. So they both fit inside it.
So nobody told the toy company that the Ford Anglia was made to fit adults.
Right.
They just saw two
Yeah.
kids in it.
Exactly.
Taylor for children.
Nobody but the
Harry,
really,
you're
the
not
really
old enough to
annoying thing.
drive.
But the really annoying thing is this bloody thing cost a shitload of money. and I but my eldest daughter, she's a massive Harry Potter fan.
Oh.
So we could have given this to her as a Christmas present, but instead
You've wrecked it.
it's like I'm gonna turn it into a police panda car and I've got nobody to put inside it.
Well, can't you remove the legs below the knees for the Action Man guys?
Yeah, take off the shins. Yeah.
And to see Action Man. So yeah. I mean, it works. I mean, it does work. It will work because it will look good on a display.
I see
Or
Keith
can you remove the firewall so their legs can go into the engine compartment?
No,
or
he's gonna go all misery with the sledgehammer.
hobble
Michael, there is loads of leg space. Unfortunately, there's no head space.
them? Oh, his torso's too tall. I see.
Well, chop off his head.
Oi,
But Keith, would it?
to drive the Anglia, right? You gotta be this short.
Yeah, you gotta lean down. You gotta lean down real low like this. You know, throw the legs out. Oh, good.
Absolutely, mate. But the thing is, though, that coppers in those days all had to be 6 foot, so it don't equate, does it? Really?
How'd you get in then?
The Fast and the Furious.
Furious.
Bloody Harry Potter. I'm fast turning into Voldemort. Here he is.
Put down the little boy, Keith.
I want to be a cop, Keith.
Put down the little boy.
You know what though? Seriously, those figures right there, knowing those exist, they actually might be like. I mean, this is where you get into dioramas where it's like, what's going on in your head? But like, I keep thinking about like the SAS guys freeing hostages or something, you know, and like they're like,
Oh yeah.
kids, you know, so it was like, you know, get them out of here, you know, and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, yeah. So
Would Action Man look okay just standing next to it though, Keith?
Depends what he has on.
I think an Action Man in the old British Bobby uniform standing next to it would look pretty pucker. Yeah, look pretty perfect. So
Yeah.
is that the same car they
It's
used in Heartbeat?
it
Or was that
is,
a
yes.
different kind?
Sorry, I'm having a choking fit here, guys. I need to mute myself and vote quietly.
It's just to me that's a testimonial not to buy Harry Potter dolls. No, so like I'm trying to remember if on the TV show, the British drama Heartbeat, if they also used an Anglia as their police car.
I think they did, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they did.
I think they did. Yeah.
I'm not a car expert, but I think so, yeah. Yeah. We've got a super chat here from Impossible Pie. Thank you. He says, congrats, Tony, on 60,000 subscribers. Well deserved. Thanks for the great content. Love the new 6 POA, a major upgrade from the 3 POA. Thank you very much. We have articulation at the hips, shoulders, neck, and...
Well, we can turn our heads and do this too.
Thigh swivel.
George Aitken says Tony is still looking for a second Robo Skull. This is true because the Robo Skull, while the toy didn't change, there are two different versions of stickers, and I have the later edition. I'm looking for that one there that Pete has,
and a box.
Yeah. And the box and the instructions. He's just showing off now.
And he got it for $5, I'm sure.
A very respectable price. I'll just say.
Really? Where did you find it?
55.
Our friend Gary.
Oh.
Yep.
Gary has everything.
Mr. Atkins.
Wow, I introduced you to Gary. Gary knows that I'm looking for one, and he never reached out to me.
Well, I mean, that's
Bitter table for one.
Yes, I believe we have your reservation.
Oh, the comedic timing on that, Schafer, was incredible. Well done, sir.
Right this way, monsieur.
Melinda, thank you very much for the kind super chat. Much appreciated. Michael went on walkabout today, scared the crap out of me. You may be a bad influence. Happy 60K, though.
She's giving me crap because I got done with the restoration video, put it on Patreon, said it's about 4:30 in the afternoon, need to go check the mailbox. Walked outside to check the mail. Realized I hadn't been outside in probably like 5 days because I'm like Smeagol at this point working on videos. It's like, precious. So I thought, you were
lightheaded from all the bleach.
Yeah, right. And the lighter fluid and
he's drinking peroxide.
All the chemicals, like all the chemicals. So I just was standing there, and it was like a nice autumn day. It wasn't too hot, but it wasn't too cold, and there was a nice breeze, and it was sunny. And I thought, I'm just going to walk the neighborhood real quick, get some motion in my steps, And I didn't think about the fact that I just pulled one of those moves where a middle-aged man wanders off without telling anybody. And
like we did as kids, just left the house.
I just left the house. I mean, I didn't intend to until I got to the mailbox. And then I was like, Melinda's on the phone with her mom. It'll only be 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. Little did I know, even though I had my phone with me, that the ringer was off. Oops. Because when I record, I turn the ringer off, and then I'm used to the ringer being off all day, and I didn't. And by the time I got back, she was standing out in the yard watching me walk back up from the neighborhood, and she was like, "I've been calling you.
Where have you been?
Here, oh, sorry."
Michael gets back and he's already on the side of a milk carton.
God forbid,
cops in the driveway.
God forbid I spend 30 minutes trying to lower my cholesterol. God forbid,
She just wants you to be considerate, Michael.
What? She was on the phone. Okay, you're right. Fine, whatever.
Fine, whatever.
You need better ringer, diligence. You need to just get that in your.
But you know how it is on those smartphones when you're out in a sunny area and you have your sunglasses on and you think you've checked the ringer, you can't see anything on that LCD screen.
Polarized and I hear you.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was all on me, but I wasn't doing anything wrong. Like she was like, because your car was still here, it made me freak out more because that means you've been abducted. You were like missing, and I'm like, what if
that means
you see the police description?
Yeah.
One Kylie Minogue t-shirt.
Right.
It also speaks to how often you walk out of the house versus leave with a vehicle. So
yeah. And you know what the police around here would say? They'd be like, right now, who's Kylie Minogue? I don't know who that. Can you give us a description of her?
Oh,
that'd be helpful.
Some foreigner. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Next. Yeah.
Now this I can relate to, Melinda. So first of all, I do appreciate you paying for a super chat to give your husband a hard time.
I watch a lot of true crime.
She watches a lot of true crime. So does Grace, and the amount of conversations we have sometimes when she wakes up in the morning, she's like, I had this horrible dream last night that you've been murdered. And I was like, stop watching that stuff on YouTube all the time.
Mona watches, she likes the Dateline with you.
Oh gosh.
And then what happened? And the next thing you know, she wasn't the same wife he married back in 1982. Very strange. Very strange. All of that's very strange.
Todd Loves Toys became a channel member. Thank you for the support. And not only did he become a channel member, he also gifted 10 Analog Toys channel memberships.
Oh,
Very, very
sweet.
kind.
Good on you.
You know, I didn't even know that was a thing that people could
Mhm.
gift memberships until all of a sudden it just started happening on the 3POA. So,
Yep.
yeah. And Turtle Tank 82 says he's asking Michael, how is Broken Vader?
He's fine. As a matter of fact, I might as well let everyone know now. He's actually taken it upon himself to film a video.
Whoa.
He said that he was tired of waiting around for me to get done with Indiana Jones, and then he got mad because I jumped onto these other videos real quick after that. So he was like, I'm going to go do this video. And I'm like, how are you going to film it? And he's like, I've got help. And I'm like, okay. And I just,
Yeah, don't
So
ask.
he's been working today on a video that's, I guess, coming out in a few days. I don't
Can
know.
you imagine him as a director with all that? Oh my God!
That's gonna be, that would be a production situation more dysfunctional than your average Kathleen Kennedy production. Like it would just be, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the director of photography gets choked and killed. The key
Right?
grip
Yeah,
gets-
you don't. Everybody's.
He hires somebody special to just hold his, microphone or his megaphone, so he can just shout at everybody with the hat. I can see him. He'll go old school, want to wear a suit with the tie, the whole thing. Sit on a chair
Everybody-
like Hitchcock.
Everybody be getting hit with a book in the forehead. Everybody.
You got hit by that book for real, didn't you?
He's taking one for the
Yeah.
team.
I told her, so if this was the book, right? I told Melinda, I was like, okay, look, you palm it was a paperback, all right? I was like, you palm
Not the
palm
corner.
paperback and you push it and you let go as you push and it will hit me on the, and she took it and she deliberately went,
Corner.
and she just ninja shurikened it at me and it hit me right in the face. And I was like, I wasn't expecting it. I was like, ow. And I was like, okay, we're gonna have to retake that. And I said, this time, just palm the book forward. What'd you do? Boom! She did it again, and I saw it coming. I was like, I'm just gonna have to take it, like, and because I won't survive a third take. I won't.
You know it was for something else that you did. It
Oh,
wasn't
sure.
really the
Oh,
shot.
sure.
Yeah, Melinda here says, don't listen to him.
I can
I
hear
did
her.
it perfect.
We're about to
And she's like, and that'll teach you for going for a walk and not letting me know.
Yeah, book to the head.
I have to say, I threw that book perfectly.
Not the way I told you to. You threw that book perfectly in
No,
self-defense.
I did
Right.
it perfectly.
Perfectly as a weapon. Yeah.
So I don't remember the timeline, but did that occur before you let her drop the Dick Tracy stuff on your head, or
That was
that
before.
That was before.
That was before.
okay? And you didn't learn the lesson of
No, but I tell you, ever since that book hit me, my hairline's never been the same.
It was conventional, right?
Is that because of the plastic
Oh.
plate that they had to put in? You know, can't get the part just right. And when she
The-
starts the microwave, you pee your
steam
pants
burn.
and forget your
The
name.
steam burn. You know, some things don't come back. You know?
I bet it a
Yeah,
lot of
Michael's like,
people how to do it.
not in the spine. Spine of the board.
Ninja 3, the librarian.
Thank you, Melinda, for the guest appearance.
Yes.
Look, gentlemen, we've been going for an hour and 40 minutes now.
Feels like 20 minutes.
It's flown by. I've really enjoyed myself. But I've got a big prize to give away tonight.
Yes.
I am giving away a $100 Helidope Toys gift card.
Oh, yeah.
And now, thanks to StreamYard's very easy to use giveaway tool, what you have to do, let me just share screen real quick. Share window. Here we go. In the live chat, what you need to do is type hashtag swears a lot. And you only need to type it once, because as you can see there, I've got the checkbox marked, so it will exclude winners doing multiple draws. Go ahead, type hashtag swears a lot in the chat. We'll let it run for a few moments. We'll see how many hashtags we get in the chat, and then we will collect the comments and draw the prize.
Make sure you spell it right, otherwise it doesn't work.
Yeah, make sure you spell it right. If you put hyphens or anything in there, I don't think it worries about uppercase and lowercase letters, anything like that. Yeah, hashtag swears a lot, all one word, in honor of. Well, funnily enough, Sir swears a lot. Well, you are a knight already, so you are a
Right?
Sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm hoping this goes to an American viewer. That way, they don't have to spend half of the gift card on shipping to an international country. But yeah, you'll be able to go onto the Helidope Toys website and purchase whatever you want up to $100. All right, I think we've had that going for long enough, so we will start collecting comments. 57, 58. Any more for any more? We have 184 people watching. There should be a lot more hashtags than this. So hashtag swears a lot.
It's the bots.
And Ted Darkclaw from Helidope says, but they will ship overseas. So if you are overseas, you can still use the gift card to purchase something and get it shipped overseas. Shout out to Helidope Toys. 62 entries. And let's draw the prize. Someone do a drum roll for me.
Ding!
Deborah David.
Congrats.
That's the person in the chat who was asking about cleaning rust off plastic.
Rust on the
earlier
plastic.
Right?
Very cool.
Deborah David, congratulations. Please reach out to me. Send an email to torturedgeniusfilms@gmail.com, or you can message Analog Toys on Facebook if you use Facebook, or if you're on Instagram, it's my account there is at the Real Desert Rat or the Real Desert Rat. I don't remember. One of those two. Reach out to me there, and I will forward you the details of the gift card. Congratulations.
Now, I will explain all about how to deal with rust on toys in exchange for the $100 gift card. All the secrets. I know them all.
Amazing. Well, look, gentlemen, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for coming on. This was a very unique stream, and quite special for me, because this really was literally hanging out with some dear friends. I know the chat really appreciated that kind of vibe. I don't feel like I've kind of had that on the channel for a while. But I need to get back to script writing on Indiana Jones, because Michael wouldn't know anything about this, but as you start writing a script like this about, two of your favorite passions, and you think the video is going to be of a certain size, and then you realize you've written a script longer than the Big Ben script, and you're nowhere near done yet. This is going to take me a while. I am going down an Indiana Jones rabbit hole. Michael, you are not to blame for this. But yeah, I do want to get back to working on that script and that video. So, gentlemen, thank you all for taking the time out of your evening to come on and celebrate this milestone. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Before we wrap things up, I would like to quickly kind of go around the room and see if anyone has any final thoughts. So we'll go clockwise. Mr. Schaefer, anything before we close?
Thank you so much for having me on to celebrate your milestone with your subscribers and how well your video is doing. And thanks for being a great friend.
No, thank you, man. Thanks for all the support. As I said to you yesterday, you were the first person I thought of.
Very kind.
It's been too long. So, Pete, what about yourself? There with your
Dude.
Six Flags over Eternia.
Thanks for having me on. I love you, pal. We would do this, on the side, not broadcast, and we haven't done that in a very long time. So this feels right. Like we're getting the band back together, eh, Keith?
Yeah. Keith, over to you.
Tony, thanks for inviting me to this tonight. Congratulations, mate, on 60,000. And it is so nice to be here amongst friends, these guys that some of them I've not spoken to for a long time. And all the time tonight, I've been herding cats.
Literally.
Chaos has bit me, and I am bleeding.
Oh.
But like a true hero, I am soldiering on, and I shall kick his lungs out once the cameras have closed down.
Better you than me, mate.
But no, it's
Thank
brilliant.
you,
It's great to be here. Brilliant. So, Tony, you're a legend, mate. You're a legend. I love your channel. The Action Man 3-part history of Action Man. If you guys have not seen it, you've got to watch it. You've got to watch it. It's a must. I've watched it probably now about 20, 30 times. It's brilliant. It's fantastic.
Yep.
Thank you very much. The moderator supreme, Mr. Tim Ward.
I've already said I know that's not entirely true anymore, but I do want to congratulate you, Tony, on the 60K. That's a major accomplishment. I've been with you for quite a while now, and so that's been a distinct honor of mine. And it's nice to just get on the stream with you and not have to be communicating with you because someone's in crisis or somebody's being an idiot.
Yeah,
we gotta address that. How do we deal with that? It's nice just to get on and hang out.
Yeah, very well said, Tim. But and I would like to take the opportunity to thank you for, although it'd be nice if that stuff didn't happen, it really is appreciated that when it does, you're always right there supporting, whether it's my channel, Retro Blasting, you're always there supporting all of us, and we appreciate that. So thank you.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks, Tim.
Yep.
Thanks, Tim.
Mr. French, any final thoughts?
I thought I would take this opportunity. I just thought I should take the tiger by the tail here and tell everybody that Analog Toys, they are a channel, and I say they because Tony has many personalities as far as the characters in his videos, Desert Rat, things like that. He's always attempting to make his channel better, whether it's show me up with the lighting that he's doing because now he's like Luke Skywalker to Articulated Ninja's Yoda, or he's coming up with these amazing videos where he's not even having to buy anything and suddenly he's got 80,000 hits. He's able to truly distill the potential of toy lines that he has and then create these entire worlds for everybody to explore in these videos that he does. And he is in that way genuinely inspiring. And I think that's what I take away from my friendship with Tony the most, is that it all began when Tony sent me an email saying how he wanted to introduce himself because he liked my channel and he was inspired by what I was doing. And honestly, I am now inspired by what he does. So it's the best kind of creative friendship. Mm-hmm. It's not just a person who, one of the two people is that guy who's like the little dog that jumps over the big dog all the time, but doesn't really contribute anything except adoration. Tony was never that guy. Tony was the guy that had his own vision and his own creativity, and he's finally getting the recognition he deserves. So in that way, I've been able to I've been able to draw inspiration from him. And that's invaluable to me. I would dare say that that kind of friendship is great.
I'm like, please work in the word great.
Look, thank you for those very kind words. I've said it many times before, but analog toys wouldn't exist if it weren't for retroblasting. I used an analogy recently with someone that when the MMA star Conor McGregor became famous and popular and successful, people made a big deal out of the fact that he showed the path to other, up and coming competitors from Ireland. This is going to how to do it. And I had never even considered doing YouTube prior to discovering this amazing channel, Retroblasting, which is still my favorite YouTube channel of all time. So thank you for the inspiration. Thank you for your friendship, your frequent collaboration. And right there, I'm going to end the stream before I get a tear in my eye over the most sincere tiger I've ever met. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for being here. Please, guys, stay on. We'll have a quick chat afterwards, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Thanks for being here, guys.
Thanks.
Cheers to many more.
Love you guys.